As we mark the first anniversary of the surgical strike against black money called demonetization, the one question that everyone has in their minds, did demonetization succeed or did this surgical strike flop? Joining us at the big demonetization face-off, representing the BJP HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar, squaring off against him on this debate, Dr. Abhishek Singhvi from the Congress. I want to begin by asking Dr. Singhvi to explain to our viewers why you believe demonetization was a spectacular failure.
I'll be very brief, but let me tell you, and please don't be misled, your viewers must not be misled by this sign in front of me. You started me off at a disadvantage. Certainly this sign belongs that side. I think that demonetization has become, after November, in the desperation of this government and this Prime Minister, who has clearly found that he made a blunder, a Tughlaqi Farman. So everything and anything which happened in this country, good or bad, after that, is being attributed to demonetization to try and justify it. I think it is the equivalent of trying to catch your nose from behind your neck when you are told, one, that you did it for getting black money, two, that you did it for counterfeit currency, three, for digital currency, four, for expanding the tax base, five, for eliminating terrorist financing, etc. Not one of these objectives has in fact been achieved, but what is more important is nowhere in the world, not one country in the world, have these even been the stated objectives of demonetization. What has happened is that what you could achieve by greater compliance, by creating more connectivity, by making more machines, by lowering the tax rate, you would promote digitization, card using. By doing lots of other things, you could have raids and collect taxes. You could have had shell companies detected earlier. None of this has any nexus with demonetization. And in a nutshell, what have you achieved? Your basic objective, of course, Mr. Modi has changed the goalpost every 5 minutes. There have been 115 changes in rules, notifications and compliances between November 8 and 31st December by the RBI notifications and by executive instructions. So unfortunately, this has been Mr. Modi's case of shoot first, take aim later and think last. And therefore, in terms of black money, I think the most telling example is 98% currency comes back, and then Mr. Modi says, we will now detect in each case. Well, do you know, sir, the detection means that the ITO gives you a notice, I will challenge it, I will go to CIT, CIT goes to ITAT, ITAT goes to Supreme Court. Somebody estimated that 2 lakh new IT officers are required to even do the assessments to first find out that of the 98% currency which came back. So Mr. Arun Shuri, when 98% currency comes back in a demonetization schemes, does it not amount to the biggest money laundering project in the world? Because everybody who had black money allegedly puts it back in the bank and makes it white.
Mr. Javadekar, to assess whether or not demonetization has succeeded, we have to go back to the Prime Minister's original speech on the 8th of November. The opposition argues that the government's goalposts keep changing as they calibrate according to ground reality. The biggest aim was a battle against black money, while it can be argued that the generation of black money in the economy still hasn't subsided. There was black money earlier, there's black money still. So why do you believe demonetization has succeeded?
Demonetization is one major step in our fight, relentless fight against black money. It started with our formation of government 3 days even after we formed the SIT, which Congress government refused to form for 3 years. Then we came out with Benami, which Congress passed it but never implemented or never notified. We improved it, implemented it, and more than 1,000 properties have been impounded. Then third is, we have enacted 4 new legislations about black money, various aspects. Then we have plugged loopholes with Singapore, Cyprus and Mauritius route, which had become a convenient in the Congress days to take black money out and bring it as a white money. We have plugged all those rules. So it's a continuous fight. Demonetization is a major decision, and that has succeeded for 3 things. Yes, our purpose was to find out black money, and yes, when 99% money or 98% money comes back, now we know who has deposited what. And now we have zeroed in on 4 lakh transaction of 3 lakh crore rupees. It's not a small amount. we have zeroed in on, and the process, we have find out 30,000, 37,000 shell companies, which, so that's not a big figure. We will track it within 1 year to see how the money was laundered and how that was used. So we know the people who have done it, and we know the companies. We have deregistered 2 lakh companies.
Rahul.
So all these things are the actions on black money. Then before that, IDS was declared and 60,000 crores we have recovered. Then raids were conducted and 60,000 crores we have recovered.
The Prime Minister and the BJP say, Dr. Singhvi, that a lot of this is what the Congress should have done but did not do. He goes back to Indira Gandhi and says the Finance Minister at that time suggested that there be demonetization. Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister says, reportedly said, are we not do we not want to win the next election? Take Benami properties for an example. This is something the Congress could have done, but you lack the political will to do what the BJP government
Actually,
has done.
Rahul, Mr. Prakash Javadekkar's answer and your follow-up question, makes my point perfectly. Number one, Mr. Javadekar cites, among others, 3 names or 4 names: Benami Act, this Act, that Act. And then he cites, so 4 acts he cited, and then he cites catching of X number of companies. First point I'm asking you, simple, commonsensical, let's forget emotion, let's talk of logic. What is the connection between demonetization, extinguishing 86% currency of a country of 1.25 billion and these 4 acts? Did anything prevent Mr. Modi from passing these 4 acts from 2014 to 2016 November? And did he need to do demonetization for this? That's why I said it is like putting your hand behind your neck to catch your nose. Nobody does it. That's one. 2, the fact that you notify or do not notify, you can have many, let me tell you, this is not a debate
Why
about
did your
black
government
money.
not notify the Benami properties?
I'll tell you. The largest number of treaties, double taxation avoidance, amendments
That doesn't answer the question.
Is by our government, largest number.
Because the government's assertion, the Prime
Benami
Minister's
Act, I'm
assertion
asking
is
you.
a lot of these Benami properties, he believes, are in the name of Congress
Let me answer
leaders.
straight away. Number 2, the very fact that we enacted it shows our intent. The rules were made. The rules were sent back for improvement. It's our enactment completely. Did they enact it? Now, if Mr. Modi applies the act selectively, selective to affections, then I can't help it if he says that all the Benami properties are the cause. Do you really believe it? Do you know, Rahul? Let me just take half a second on this. This is very terrible. On the day when demonetization, Mr. Modi waxed eloquent at 7 o'clock in the evening. On that day, 3 crores were admittedly deposited by the Kolkata BJP in account number 5545100034. Till today, we have got no explanation for that. On the 1 month before that, thousands of crores of worth of properties was purchased, 8 in Bihar and 18 in Odisha. We've given names then. We have received no account. So these are benefits.
You are accusing the government of
so what is
using
the Benami properties?
investigative agencies in a selective fashion.
See, this is what exactly Congress was saying, you should have told us. But this is really the issue, that it was a secret thing and that was declared. As far as BJP's accounts, what they are saying, we are building our district offices throughout the countries. It's a white account. It goes by check in accounts of our state BJP, and state BJP then gives it to district BJP and it comes out. So there was no issue.
How can you deposit?
But they made it the main issue. No, let me, Abhishek, come. So the black money has been struck very hard, and what we are seeing now is definitely very less generation of black money in very restricted sectors, which are also monitored properly. And at the same time, terror, we have seen it's a reduction of more than 75% in terror activities and casualties of citizens, and fake notes have disappeared, and Naxal activity has gone down by 80%. So it's a definite win, it's a decisive action, and it has struck the black markets. What is happening is, on 8th November, first anniversary, we are celebrating it as, observing it as an anti-black money day, because our relentless fight continues, and we vote for that. And they are saying Black Day. Why? They are supporting Black Money Day.
And their black money got extinguished, which is why you're calling it a Black Day, is the BJP's assertion.
I must, these sweeping statements have to be challenged and looked into. Let's leave emotion and talk of facts. And very briefly, point number 1, he talked of terror. Well, here's the figure, published, official government figure. from November 16 to August 17, which is the last figure we have 2 months ago, terror-related deaths increased 33% compared to exactly the same period over November 15 to August 16. So terror-related deaths have increased 1/3, 33%.
But can I not say that the number of stone pelting incidents has actually come down?
Let me come down. Do you think you require demonetization to reduce stone pelting incidents? Is that bizarre?
Also important.
Are we children? I mean, number two, the whole country made fun of the fact that the whole world made fun of the fact that when you are talking of demonetization, extinction of notes, why do you publish 2,000 rupee notes? Why? Rogoff and Larry Summers are two Harvard economists. They published a paper said that if the object was to reduce, why would you publish 2,000 rupee notes? Third, counterfeit currency. Do you know that total currency detected of counterfeit is 43 crores? 43 crores. As against this, the total currency of counterfeit notes detected normally without demonetization and with demonetization, the difference is 1 to 2%. There is no difference. But the real point is you are the laughing stock of the world if you tell the world that you decided to reduce terror by doing demonetization for reducing stone pelting. Stone pelting is reduced by proper policing, by going after those who are doing money laundering and catching them. I told you one thing, Rahul, it's very interesting. I am prepared to debate on figures. There can be possibly 7 objects of demonetization as per Mr. Modi, not as per us.
And that is why
one
we are
is
saying
a windfall gain of 3 lakh crores. On the contrary, the RBI had a loss of net profit from 65,000 crores to 30,000 crores and spent 7,965 crore rupees to print new notes, plus got back all the 98% notes. Number 2 object is eliminate black money. It's like catching your nose from behind your head. You can do so many things.
Let's take it one at a time.
Eliminate terror financing and
let me respond to it.
Counterfeit currency.
Let's take counterfeit currency, for example.
Abhishek Singhvi, being a lawyer, goes on always saying long arguments, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll tell one. And one is that all the money came back is a victory of demonetization because 3 lakh crore of suspected transactions ruled out through 4 lakh accounts have been tracked, and 37,000 shell companies through which money laundering was done during this black to white is also traced. So they will be booked and they are going to be punished severely. So that is the action. And there is a strong message that no more black money. What Modi ji is saying is, live honestly, pay tax honestly, and live happily. Instead, Congress is saying, do black marketing, gather black money, and live the way they used to live in Congress.
Is it not the fact, Dr. Singhvi, that this is the single biggest message being sent to the people of India that you need to change your habits, that India needs to go from being a tax-evading country to being a tax-compliant country?
Rahul, we come back to the same point. You send the message from being a tax-evading country to a tax-compliant country by doing demonetization.
But there has to be something radical to trigger behavioral change.
Radical is have these laws that you've talked about, implement them. Have your income tax department do it. Do you know the meaning of what is being said? Today, the demonetization is only done for one reason, if at all. 1, if they are soiled or spoilt notes. 2, if you want to extinguish currency. Mr. Modi, Mr. Jaitley and everybody's statements for the first 1 month were, we are extinguishing currency. Then suddenly the goalposts are changed. Mr. Javadekar is forced to say this, it's a changed goalpost. That object is not to extinguish currency, because we suddenly found that 98% currency is coming back. So the object, do you think, was that 2 lakh additional ITO officers will sit down on Rahul's assessment, on Prakash's assessment, on Singhvi's assessment, and assess that the money you deposit in the bank account is correct or not, and that will go in 3 appeals.
Given the number of tax possible we have, it is simply impossible to be able to go through all that 99%.
No, that's not the object of demonetization.
See, there are new solutions, there are new models, methods, there are new methods to track. It is not that everything has to be tracked the old way. Now there are new mechanisms, there are new digital tools available which do assessment very fast. And what is happening all over? Now within 10 days or 15 days you get refund also.
Data,
so it's a different thing.
Data mining changes the dynamic. The BJP would argue that your calculations are wrong about needing 2 lakh more IT assessors for the simple reason that with high-powered computers and data mining software,
let's assume that.
you can find out any discrepancy over normal behavior much faster than
That's
earlier.
absolute. But again, nobody is answering my basic question.
I will.
Demonetize so that money will come back and you start doing assessments. Which
No,
country has done
I
it?
will tell you.
One minute. It's like saying that you will shoot at this place so that somebody sitting here will die because that will fall on the head. Nobody shoots like this. Let me tell you, Rahul, the fundamental error, what has happened in this case is Mr. Modi, for whatever personal image, ego, zid, whatever, he took a decision. He realized very soon that it was a blunder. And let me tell you, a political victory never validates a blunderous economic decision. You won UP, so you are self-patting you on the back. In that same election, you lost Punjab, Manipur and Goa. 3 elections you lost. Now, do not think that an economic blunder is validated by a political victory. What has happened here is, you made a mistake of assuming that cash is equal to black, black is equal to cash.
At least,
today, a country, do you know, like Germany, has 80% cash transaction. 80% in Germany. Austria has 80%. Australia has 60%. France has 56%. USA has 46%. Now, first you create connectivity, create enough cards all across the country, have more and more. Do you know why you don't pay? Why you don't use the card? I tried using my card actually for people who came home to fix my home. They said, sir, कार्ड से हम क्या पे करेंगे? हमारे शॉप से हम कार्ड वाली मशीन कहाँ से लाएंगे? आपको 18% टैक्स देना पड़ेगा. मैं लेने को तैयार नहीं हूँ. You see, the point is, unless you rationalize the tax, the reason you don't pay by card is not demonetization or cash. It's because nobody wants to pay a tax of 18%.
No, and not just...
No, but that is again, that is the psychology which we want to
Because you have to higher taxes.
You will not pay the tax.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to pay the regular taxes which the state has levied.
Reduced.
And see, GST, once again, GST is one step further in our fight against black money because GST is not an additional tax. It is an substituting at a lower level from octroi, then excise and VAT.
But Mr. Javadekar, you've been traveling to Gujarat and elsewhere in the country. You speak to traders and you understand their level of anger at this time. They are upset with the manner in which GST has been rolled out. They are upset with high tax rates. They are upset with complicated compliance structures.
No, I'll tell you. As far as compliance structure and formalities and technical formats are concerned, what he was blaming, that demonetization you changed 51 times rule. This is the sensitive government. Therefore, it is listening to the voices and grievances of people and immediately rectifying because our intentions are very clear. First intention, to attack black money. Second intention, not to harass people.
I want to make 2 points.
And second is that here also, every month, all state chief ministers, and GST, I always credit all parties because it is all parties have done it unanimously, the law, the rules and the rates. And now the concessions also, they are giving unanimously. So on 9th and 10th, again, this November also,
okay.
there
are 2 points being made.
This is a sensitive government.
Dr. Singhvi, one is that whatever tax structures are agreed on in the GST Council are agreed on through consensus in a committee including Congress finance ministers, and they seem to be saying something different in the GST Council meetings to what you're saying.
So 2 points about the sensitive government and about GST. Please go and tell this sensitivity to 115 people who died. Try going and tell them you're a sensitive government. When you go to any of those 115 people, you know, our institutional memory is very short. In November last year, hardly a year ago, there was kolahal here. There was trahi in this country. 115 people died. Do you know, agriculture, fertilizer sales decreased. Transportation of vegetables decreased by 25 to 50%. It's all very well. We are hunky-dory in Delhi talking about this. Do you know there are 2 indexes? All India Manufacturing Association said revenue lost 50%, jobs lost 34%. The CMIE said for 3 months this year, 15 lakhs jobs gone. 2% is what I predict for GDP, already 1% plus is showing. On a new index which they have, they are down to 5.7%. Actually, the index should be 3.7%. Now, these are things which are hurting not you and me in this drawing room. They are hurting people. One minute. So, this is the cost of demonetization. One second. The Tughlaki Farman issuer has no idea of this cost. Second and very quickly, GST.
No, Abhishek, 1 minute.
Half a minute. No, GST.
Let me complete.
Let me answer GST. No.
1 minute.
Now, GST is our baby. We are the happiest with it. We will forget the institutional memory when Mr. Modi abused GST and Mr. Jaitley opposed it. For 11 years, 7.5 years, the BJP opposed it. Suddenly it became a golden thing. Let's forget it because institutional memory is very short. But what is GST, Rahul? GST is a single nation, single tax. The whole idea is you actually have one rate. At the most, you have a demerit rate and a rate lower. A, you have 8 rates, there is no single tax. 2, there is no single nation. 42% of your items are outside GST. Petrol, liquor and real estate.
No, but a lot of these
This is a demand of the state.
1 minute. 3, no, what our state said. But my friend ignores what Amit Mitra said and what all our state finance ministers said. They said, and I am saying it officially now, we are strongly for GST. Please leave ego aside. Start it from December or January 2018. In these 5 months, simply have a pilot. In the pilot, eliminate the glitches. What are the glitches? Your input tax credit, the computer is not working. Nobody knows the rates. Just take 5 months gap. Mr. Modi says, I have an ego. I have decided GST it must come now. He first wanted a date of 31st March. Then it was shifted to June. And then July, come what may, it must start. So what is now happening? Same thing. Shoot, aim, think. You have shot it,
whenever,
then now you are doing the changes.
Mr. Javadekar makes is, whenever you do something like GST, there would be problems. He's saying we're a sensitive government, we are changing as we get feedback.
That's not the way it's done. As you know the kind of harm you've caused to small-scale people? No. Why do you have to change? Okay. Why can't you start in January?
No harm
you
is
do a pilot. For 6 months, you do a pilot project.
See, mixing two different, sometimes fiction with facts or in an unrelated topic doesn't make a point strong, because as far as unemployment thing is concerned, let me be very clear. Formal employment cyclical employment pattern in IT industry continues over the years, centuries. It comes on, but even Chandrasekhar, TCS boss, and the Infosys boss, both have said we are increasing the number in every way last 3 years.
No, but can I... So the real problem that Dr. Singhvi mentions is the informal and unorganized sector.
I'll tell you. That is what I'm saying. In 2 years, when 8 crore youths have got 4 lakh crores of loan under one Mudra scheme, it has provided jobs to millions and millions of people.
Where are these millions accounts?
I have gone.
Your official?
No, official. We are giving you names also. And you are not going to people, and therefore you are.
There is no official publication of your government of India which says unemployment is at an all-time high of 5%.
No, that is, see, that's
says your data is lost. Now you say
this is not
an unorganized sector which nobody knows about, which I say is 5 million.
No.
What is this figure?
I will tell you, because in every survey which was conducted since independence was calculating only formal economic jobs, and therefore those reports are very partial, because now you have an informal sector more, and therefore jobs are increasing. Otherwise, there would have been so much.
But can I say, Mr. Javadekar, that in the build-up to the first anniversary of demonetization, the India Today group sent out its correspondents to various hubs of small-scale trade and industry: Muradabad, Varanasi, Surat, Tirupur, Kanchipuram. We found, by broadly speaking to people who run industry over there, they say that their business is down 40 to 50%.
I'll tell you.
That's the figure I give you.
They're saying that several of the informal workers who were engaged with them, they've had to send them back home.
1 minute. I will tell you, this is always a picture of any economy when 3 or 4 sectors. As we know, garments are suffering because of so many global factors and so many complications created earlier, which we are rectifying now. So garment is a different ball game, nothing to do with demonetization or GST. The metal and the some kinds of handicrafts, others are flourishing. They are getting more jobs. They are getting more demand. Therefore, exports have increased. So, all in all, you have to see in a balanced way. When you see to that, the economy, and about 5.7, let me remind Abhishek that 5.7 is the only once bottom line where we have received because of world situation, but you have gone there and even below for 8 times during UPA regime. So, see, economy, there are sometimes, even in their time, when 2008-9, we don't say, because that time it was a world crisis, so you will have some impact. But what you did,
that was a world crisis, this is a self...
No, this is also a world crisis. You know, in certain sectors, what is happening, you know, and therefore, but now everything is picked up. They were building roads of 7 kilometers per day. We are building at 28 kilometers per day.
Okay, Dr. Singhvi, you're being accused by the BJP of reading data selectively. I want to put forth some data on free high-frequency indicators for consumption. Two-wheelers, passenger vehicle sales up 14%, fuel consumption up 10%, festive sales for e-commerce portals up 15%, export growth up 25%, industrial production up 4.6%, which paints an optimistic economic picture. They're saying you are cherry-picking data points from industry, which in any case are on a downturn for various factors. There's plenty of good data.
Isn't this cherry-picking on these sectors? I'll give you 5 reasons why this is wrong. Number 1, is anybody denying that the GDP decreased immediately after the demonetization? No. Is anybody denying that your old system equivalent is 3.7 or 4%? No. Is anybody denying that 5.7 after demonetization for an economy growing under your regime, forget ours, 7.5 was your figure, is it good for the country? Is anybody denying that all official published figures of employment show 5-6% unemployment, 1.5 million in absolute figures from January to March this year? The answer to that is that there are figures in Mudra which we don't have. We have not documented, but there are millions who are getting jobs.
There are documented, these are bank loans.
Where is the public
These are not loans given by money lenders.
One minute. The principal index of these are 2 sectors which we are forgetting. AIMO is the All India Manufacturers Association, and MSME is mainly the unorganized. They are predicting and have achieved job losses of about 33% plus minimum, and revenue losses of 50% plus already. Where this will stabilize, I don't know. You see, it's like a train going fast. If a very fast-going train, suddenly somebody without consulting experts puts a brake here, the train will stop there. It will come to a sputtering halt there. That's what we are seeing. We haven't seen the end of it. I would be the first to be happiest if I'm wrong. I'm shuddering to think of what will happen to a country like India.
Just wait 1 more month and you will have rebounded figures. Because all indicators in that direction, you must read the reality.
You go and talk private.
You can't go on denying the things because people... See, Congress had the very plus point earlier in politics was the plank of the poor was with Congress. Why? Because people thought that Indira Amma is for poor. Now that plank has gone to Modi ji. People think he is for the poor. He is taking action to give justice for poor against black money, and Congress is protecting black money and black market and everything that is bad. That is the problem.
Actually, the man who's hurt the most by sudden ad hoc Tughlaki farmans like demonetization is the poor. But forget the poor, because the poor having been hurt doesn't go into the GST. But when you talk to the middle income, the lower income, the middle enterprises, it is exactly like a person who has recovered from a heart attack, namely a demonetization, giving a punch by me to you in a solar plexus. That's GST on top of demonetization. The real India is middle India and lower middle India is slightly upper India. What are they doing? You talk to them privately. They are cursing. They are saying that we have never had, we don't know how to do this.
No, let me tell you.
Because we were never told.
Mr. Modi, press the button in GST are 2 back-to-back blows.
No, back-to-back blows nahi hai. Back-to-back blessings hai for the economy, for the larger good. But there will be initial glitches, yes. And this Diwali, I was talking to all cross-sections of society when I was in Pune for 4 days. So what I discovered, all small manufacturers were so happy. They said in Diwali every time 12 officers used to come us, and there was every year's installment to be paid. Now nobody comes.
But are customers coming or not is the question.
Customers are also coming. Those who are doing wonderful business, they are actually experiencing. The problem is everybody has to change habits, because there is an economy which was developed during Congress regime where people thought that taking goods without receipt.
Okay, black is dominant economy under the Congress. People are cribbing because this requires a behavior change. You inculcated bad habits, they're trying to change those bad habits, and therefore there is a backlash.
See, we must always come back to the basics. I have, of course, we've argued almost 33% of this debate today on economy. But remember, the debate is not on economy. The debate is on demonetization. I come back to the basic question. For economic betterment, who has told you by any survey, any precedent in any country, that demonetization has brought about economic betterment? Which of the various things he's talking of general economic policy. Did Mr. Modi have to do demonetization for that? No answer, number one. Number two, economy has many facets. What has happened here is that people are being treated as commodities in terms of there is a decision and there is fear. Let me tell you this anecdotal evidence which Prakash ji is giving. The real anecdotal evidence, I think we all know. You go and talk the amount of curses. Nobody may speak in front of your industry association. Mr. Modi is there because this is a vindictive government. It's a fearful government. It's a fear psychosis government. But private, there is not a single businessman who's happy that I've come across. They're all cursing. And I always tell them that business is a natural friend of a right-wing party, supposedly. But they say we have never seen a party like this who is hitting us in the solar plexus. Tell me one good reason why suddenly all the indicators decreased after demonetization. Why is there no progress of the job? Mr. Modi himself is a worried man on the jobs promise he made. Why?
I'll come. See, very simple, that emergency mindset that is the monopoly of Congress. We fought it out, and therefore we never bring the fearful government. We are making people fearless. The more important point is that GST will and is changing, and that is what I said, that even on 9th and 10th, there will be many changes, because we are a sensitive government which takes care of people, and at the same time we want to bring it. See, why demonetization? No world leader, when I was going as an environment minister to the world bodies, Ban Ki-moon, even Obama and Kerry and everybody told me, when we impose $6 plus tax on coal, they said, how it is possible? We can't do that in our country. And how opposition allowed? I said, we have 36 parties in parliament, but because our culture ethos is environment friendly, and therefore we could levy tax and nobody opposed it. No, so that is how things have happened. And here also in demonetization, people have realized that whatever Modi is doing is with good intent to protect poor and to punish those who are doing wrong.
There is a saying, Rahul, the path to hell is paved with good intent. I am not at all accepting Mr. Modi's good intent, but certainly the path to hell he may have paved for you by supposed good intent. Let me tell you that there is an institutional mechanism also we are forgetting. We are a proud country because unlike our South Asian neighbors, we have institutional roots. We are not like, I don't know, name them, all our South Asian. We don't have institutional roots there. Our institutional mechanisms are robust, are very strong. The RBI Act, Mr. Modi thought it doesn't exist. It says in section 24, the government of India can only, I repeat the word, only declare demonetization on a recommendation from the RBI. For 1 year, a parliamentary committee is asking Mr. Urjit Patel, who's trying to hide in corners every day, that when did you receive the notice for that meeting? What were the agenda papers which underlay that? How did you apply mine today and how did you recommend? Mr. Modi can't do it under the law. Not a single one of his close people, forget our advisors, from chief economic advisor, from finance secretary, most probably the finance minister. Nobody knows. When everybody tries to be an expert, Rahul,
the independence of the RBI,
no, RBI's independence is absolutely intact. Even the CBI's independence is absolutely intact. It is not the Congress rule where the law minister was dictating the CBI report and amending it. What we are doing is a complete autonomy, and therefore the RBI governor was called 3 times by Finance Committee and other committees, PSC, which is chaired by Congress leader.
No, you talk about
he was candid enough to tell the truth. But never there was an issue of any pressure by the government, or there was no...
And Mr. Rajan, what did he say, Rahul? Mr. Rajan said, till I was there, once I was asked, I categorically said that the short-term perceived benefits are far outweighed and don't do it. And perhaps, is that the reason Mr. Rajan is perhaps the only governor since 1991 not to complete his term?
You talk about
5-year term.
No, he completed his term.
5-year term. He's the only governor from 91 who didn't do a 5-year term.
No, but he completed and then he went.
You talk, Mr. Javadekar, about institutional autonomy. I want to ask you about the induction into your party of a gentleman called Mukul Roy from the Trinamool Congress, who till the other day was the target of a BJP campaign where you said, Bhag Mukul Bhag, CBI aa rahi hai. Suddenly, through this fair and lovely process that you have, that you're black when you're in the opposition, but you turn pristine when you join the BJP, he has now been inducted into your party. The opposition says you're doing this through your strongest ally, the CBI.
No, it's not about CBI. It's about what TMC has done to itself.
And so if he was corrupt when he was in the TMC,
but
how is he not corrupt now?
He was instrumental of TMC's rise and he was the main support of Mamta, and now he has left, so people can say anything.
No, but what about the charges against him? What about all the charges your party was leveling
but
against
that is why, see, CBI inquiry will take place, and it
he's
will
not
be
the
without
only instance,
interference. It will
just
be
one second,
without
Dr. Singhvi,
interference.
because there is also Sukhram in Himachal Pradesh, who now is fighting in Mandi. There is Narayan Rane in Maharashtra, all of whom were targets of your party's campaign when they were in opposition. Suddenly, when they've joined the government, things seem to have turned.
See, it's very simple that the people, when there is a big churning happening in the country, people want to come to a better party, and
Why are
they
you
were
taking
in the
care of
wrong
people?
party. See, Narayan Rane was never comfortable in Congress. He wanted even that time to come to
Prakash
BJP.
Javadekkar's contention is that the CBI cases against them will not falter or stop. The CBI's prosecution will continue despite them joining the BJP.
Let me rephrase it for you. The Anti-Black Money Act, the Benami Act, this raid, that raid, all applies very well as long as they're in the opposition. There is no black money and there is no need for all these money laundering actions when you join the BJP.
The son of a chief minister of the BJP in Chhattisgarh was named in
No, let me explain.
the Panama
There are innumerable
Papers.
examples. You have Chhattisgarh, you have the president of the BJP's person in Gujarat now, you have innumerable cases where the allegation is against Rane, against Mr. Mukul Roy and others, the allegation of BJP consistently has been huge corruption.
If they are
I'll make a difference.
Forget prosecution. How does the BJP accept them
I'll tell.
on that principle?
See, in 5 sentences, I'll tell the difference, what is corruption and what is not. See, a business transaction by somebody which resulted in a loss, but turnover is big, but resulted in a loss, is not a corruption. It's a business failure. But a land which is bought by a person who was given the amount to be for purchase of that land by the owner of the land, 8 crore rupees, then he purchases the land, and then after 3 months, within 3 months of his ownership, the land use changes, and then it is sold back to 50 crore, but to the same person, 58 crore. So that is a
Can I answer one line question to you, Prakashji? Why don't you have the same Dhingra Commission for Gujarat?
No,
Why are you giving a certificate?
Because there is no,
I will not give a certificate.
There is no
to have a Dhingra Commission for this
the land
have a
use
Dhingra
was
Commission for
changed, the
Gujarat.
government
Why don't you have it?
was used. Government was used, so there is no case
I
at all.
have time only for one question, gentlemen, and that is to deal with black money when it comes to political parties. The BJP government at this time wants everyone to link everything with Aadhaar. From your mobile phone to your bank accounts, everything must be linked to Aadhaar. But the one thing that was done in the budget was to allow anonymous political donations to be made.
No.
If everything is being linked with Aadhaar, why not make political
I'll tell you,
donations?
it is linked to Aadhaar.
No.
See, I'll tell you how it is linked to Aadhaar. Because the companies will donate, when they will purchase the bonds, they will show their identity.
They are anonymous bonds.
1 minute. No, they don't become anonymous when they purchase. When they purchase, they will show their identity. The bonds they will purchase. The bonds they will purchase through legal tender, that is by check or by bank transfer. And after that, with Aadhaar details, and then they will purchase the bonds, but then they can give those bonds to different parties of their choice in
Final words, Dr. Singhvi.
This is exactly like Arun Shourie said, that if possibly demonetization is organized money laundering, this is organized, legalized quid pro quo for governments in power. He's absolutely right. When you buy the bond, you disclose your identity. The anonymity question you asked doesn't answer that. He doesn't answer that. The anonymity question remains because the world, nobody, not you, not I, knows that disclosure. That is only between him and the bank. Now the person who will buy the bond will donate heavily, officially, to only the BJP in power. You can't get an RTI saying, please tell me how much did Rahul donate by buying the bond. The bank manager may know it, but he can't disclose it. Nobody in the world knows that Rahul donated 100 rupees only to Mr. Prakash and 1 rupee to Mr. Singhvi. That distinction cannot be published.
But bank knows 101 rupees.
That's all right.
That who has purchased by paying legal
Yes, but it
documents.
encourages selective, discriminatory donations to one party.
It only prevents the blackmailing. It only prevents the blackmailing.
Suppose I want to show that Rahul...
in fearlessness.
Suppose I want to show that Rahul donated 100 rupees to Mr. Javadekar, only 1 rupee to me. And in return, the Javadekar government gave many favors to Rahul. I can't show it because I don't know how much Rahul donated. That's anonymous.
Okay, gentlemen, we're out of time.
Yeah.
You've had two very strongly argued points of view. We leave it to our viewers to decide whether they believe demonetization has passed or failed. But I want to take this opportunity to thank both the HRD Minister and Dr. Singhvi for joining us on what's been a cracking debate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.